Hello everyone, welcome again to Times Drive Ada. Today we have with us another guest, Martin Uhlarik, who is the head of global design at Tata Motors. Martin, thank you so much for joining us again. So after Nexon, we have two new products. Completely redesigned products, Harrier and Safari.
Yeah.
So if you can please briefly walk us through what are the major design changes that we can see in these two cars.
So both the Harrier and Safari, they are very significant upgrades. So what we did was we looked at them. Obviously, we've changed significantly the front and the rear of the cars. Interior, again, very strategically, a lot of visual change to the interior. Both products, we wanted to improve the quality perception, really underline that their positioning in terms of not only are they capable SUVs, but they are our flagship products. But then the other aspect was, up to now, they've essentially been the same car, other than one was a 5-seater and one was a 7-seater. But now we really wanted to see them as distinct brands, distinct personalities, more than just a nameplate on the rear of the car. So they have a very different design language, the front of the vehicles. The Harrier is much more dynamic. It's a sporty SUV, really communicating that sort of capability, that adventurous spirit. And then with the Safari, which you see here in its dark, we saw it as the flagship. So we really wanted to communicate not only is it a capable SUV, but at the same time, we wanted to communicate that it's the flagship product of the company, and it kind of reflects that premiumness.
So what was the primary inspiration behind the design that we see in both these cars? So what was the feedback from the customers? And mainly, Safari is just not a nameplate, it has a heritage behind us. There's a legacy behind that name. So how you were able to combine those things, the new design and the legacy in the Safari itself?
Yeah, when we did the Safari, we, like I said, really looked at the positioning. We looked at who's the customer, and understood that it's not only an SUV, it's a 7-seater, obviously, but it has this prestige. So the whole design was really around the philosophy. The whole front end is actually a sheer wall as a volume. It's very upright, and all of the lines on the front of the design are all horizontal and vertical. So there's no really angles like the Harrier has or the Nexon. Those are much more dynamic products. This is very stable. It has a real presence. It really communicates that sort of accomplished identity.
Now, sustainability is also one of the factors when designing new cars. So are there any new elements that we can see that has been designed according to that?
From a sustainability point of view, well, the first thing is you'll notice that the car doesn't have any chrome on it. So when you're designing a product of this class, the traditional approach would have been to have a lot of chrome on it, a lot of chrome accents and so forth. Not only did we feel that it isn't modern, that it isn't really the visual communication of a premium product nowadays, a modern premium product, but actually all of the plastics are now molded in color. So there's no paint process. So by just looking at it from a different process point of view, we eliminated a lot of wastewater. And it's a small thing, but it's actually, every little bit helps.
But when you count the numbers of cars are being sold, it becomes a very major chunk.
Look at the parts. The parts are now molded in plastic, whereas before they used to be painted. And if you had the chroming process, obviously it was a plastic chrome piece, but traditionally chroming was a very wasteful process. So all in all, it was just a passé methodology. So the car has to also communicate that it's a forward-thinking product.
So apart from the legacy part, customer feedback, how was there any feedback from the customer point of view that you have tried to implement in the design of both these cars? Any specific elements in terms of that?
Oh yes, we're constantly getting feedback from the customers, whether it's something as simple as access to a storage space, or how do you operate the seat, to the climate control, the performance, ergonomics. All of that always goes into effect. It's not just the cosmetic aspect, it's really the how you're using the product. And all that is valuable information.
One last question. What sets these two new cars, Safari and Harrier, when you put them in front of the competition that is there? What do you think about that? Maybe first some of your personal opinion also.
Well, first of all, I think they just communicate a leadership in the segment, leadership in design. leadership in technology. When you see what we're offering, it's not just a cosmetic facelift. There are a lot of features that we've added to it that makes it a complete offering. And all of those elements come together and then of course create an unmistakable and unrecognizable product.
Thank you, Martin, for talking to us. Wishing you best.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.